screen, you're going to see a box pop up, and at the top is an icon that says Open Chat, and the little balloons, those are the chat buttons. So if you go ahead and click on those, you'll have access to the chat. You can just type in your question, and Sarah will be responding to you throughout the call. The chat is also recorded in the transcript of the call, so we'll send that. We'll provide important answers on that as well as a follow-up. So today, just quickly, what we're going to do is we're going to go through just a few things. Number one, customizing your settings. Those are just some features that you may not have taken the time to look at that can make your conference call a really great experience. We're going to go through scheduling your conference. So that's going to be showing you how to launch an on-demand conference, as well as a walkthrough of scheduling it via our very simple and intuitive scheduling wizard. And then we're going to go over some other features like apps that you can download and support. So where can you find apps that can get you connected no matter what device you are trying to attempting to connect on, and also how to reach our support team for help. So what I'll be doing now is sharing my screen with you. So instead of my video, soon you're going to see a screen. And on that screen is just webinar. Hold on. So I'll be sharing my screen. And on that screen, you're going to just see a login that should be very familiar to you if you've logged into your account before. This is the main page. And if you haven't logged into your account before, welcome to the main page of the portal. We'll go over this in a little bit because it contains extremely important information, and it is where you'll be scheduling everything. But first, let me go ahead and direct you to the settings feature, or to the settings section, where there's a lot of great features. And it's really amazing how just a few changes in configuration will greatly improve the flow of your conference call. So first of all, the first thing you want to decide when you're having a call, or for any call you want to have, is do you want your conference participants to be able to interact on their calls? Like, how do you want people to be able to interact? Do you want them to be able to interact with each other before you join, or do you prefer that the conference not start until you join? So if that's something you want to change, you're going to go to your waiting room feature. Your waiting room feature is a simple button that you slide on and off, and if it's on, all of your participants will hear music hold until you have actually started the call. If you turn it off, the first person hears hold music, but that second person to dial in to the call or connect will make it a live conference. So it will start without you being in there. So that's, again, this setting you can configure. The other thing in regards to your preferences is, do you want what do you want to hear? What is the experience you want when callers come into or exit your call? That's going to be tied to our chime and name announce button. As the name suggests, you can choose whether you want to hear a short tone, or if you actually want to hear the full name as recorded by your participants when callers come into the call and leave the call. It's a love or hate relationship, I found. Some people love all the information and they want to hear all of it when people come in and leave, and other people want to hear absolutely nothing at all because they feel it's disruptive. So that's up to you. You can turn it on, you can turn one on, toggle it as needed. And of course, you can change that based on the needs of your call. If you're having a smaller interactive call, it might be helpful to leave on the name announce so you know exactly who's in there. But if it's a larger call, maybe you want to turn all of it off so that it's not so disruptive when people join. The other thing to think about before your call starts is the mode of your your call. We call it like the conversation mode of your call. So the default setting is that all lines are open and everyone can talk. I would imagine that's probably the way that 90% of people want their calls. But if you're doing a larger call like this one, or one that you need to have the floor to present your piece before anybody else should even think about talking, then you're going to want to use one of these two modes. The question and answer mode will mute all the lines, but allow participants to unmute themselves if needed. And the presentation mode does not allow anyone to unmute their lines. So only the moderator can decide when the lines are on and when they're off. So you'll just make that adjustment. Just a quick note, please remember which mode you're in. If for some reason you change it to presentation mode for one call, remember people will be muted when they dial into the next call because it's an overall setting. So we want to talk to you a little bit about a great feature called pinless entry in SMS. It's really quite simple, despite that long name of the tab there. SMS is text messaging, and all that means is if you go ahead and enter your mobile phone number to the into the setting here, you're going to get texts about a few things. First of all, you'll get your reminders on your phone. It's like a wonderful feature. I don't know about you, but there's not too many reminders. There's literally no chance that I can have too many reminders for a call. So I will get a text on my phone 15 minutes before the call. Additionally, if somebody has joined your call before it started, before you're on the line, you'll get a text with that information. So if they've joined online, you'll see their name. It'll say so-and-so has joined your call. And if they're dialing in, you'll see the number that they've dialed in from. It's pretty handy. Pinless entry. It just means, lucky you do not have to enter your moderator PIN when you're joining the call. So as long as the number that you're calling from is in this section here, and you dial into a call, it's going to place you right into your call with no further action on your part required. So these are just ways to simplify your life, essentially. So let's talk a little bit about a hot topic today, and that is security. I'm sure you want to know how you can keep these calls secure beyond what you're provided with, which is a unique access code, a new moderator PIN. The first security measure is related to your access code. So you will be provided, well, when your account is set up, you'll have a dedicated access code for your call. It doesn't change unless you change it. Be the same from call to call. But if for some reason that information has been distributed many times, or perhaps it has gotten to people you just don't want on any future calls, no matter how small of a chance that it is that they'll dial in, you can always change that code. So you're just going to click on Get New Code. And then what that does is it replaces the code you were provided with the new code, and the old code is completely disabled. So the important thing to remember here is that if you have meetings scheduled out in the future, you'll need to make sure that everybody has the new code, because that old code won't work anymore. If you don't want to go that crazy and change your entire code, you can go ahead and add a security code. The security code, once you turn it on, it's just a couple digits. You can see I've placed it in here, that you want to make sure that people have in addition to the access code. So they'll enter your access code, and then the system will prompt for the security code. That's whether they dial in or whether they join online. That's one way that you can differentiate one call to the next. The last thing I saved is not like the save the best for last, but it's a really cool feature. This is a recording and live streaming feature. So there's three types of recordings that you can do, essentially, or three types of things you can enable here. The first one is you can automatically record audio. Okay, so this is where you set up your calls to automatically record. Do you want to record just the audio? Do you want to record the online meeting? Or do you want to record, did you want to record the audio, or do you want to record the online meeting? You can decide which one you want to record. That's up to you. You can also decide if you want to live stream the meeting. So this will take a few pieces of information from you with a YouTube Live dashboard that you create on YouTube. But once you have those two pieces of information, and trust me, this takes very little time, and the information is readily available on YouTube. You just copy and paste your stream name into this section and your share URL here, and it is saved into the system. And at that point, in order to live stream it out to an unlimited audience on YouTube, all you have to do is click this button um, here to set that up automatically or schedule it in the future. We'll go over that soon. And it will go out to an unlimited audience on YouTube. You can also record that on your YouTube account. So you can essentially have a nice bucket of material on YouTube to provide you to people who want to see it if you would like. So I don't know if you've heard about Q. Q is our AI bot, and as our CEO likes to say, some of the best things about coverage happen after the call is done. And that is from our AI bot Q. So if you generate a smart summary, then what happens is as soon as your call starts, if you choose to record and transcribe it, our AI bot Q goes to work. No more need to take notes. Your call will automatically be transcribed, and you will have that available to you pretty soon after your call is completed for you to look at. So I can show you what that looks like. You'll have that available to you right after your call. What's even better is that Q will compile a list of frequently used words and create a hashtag topic cloud for you that is automatically sent to you as part of your post-call summary. So what it's doing is not just recording the visual and the audio, but it's also transcribing it and giving you a searchable database. So let me give you an example of that. So if I want to go in here and I want to check out where in the world and in what meetings did I ever say this? So I'm looking for some information on broadcasting. So it's going to bring up information on where it was said in the transcript and where it was hashtagged. Once I identify the call, or if I want to check out the call where this was discussed, I can go ahead and click on the call, and then I'm going to get all of the information about that call in its entirety. I'll get all the active speakers. I'm going to get all of the hashtagged cloud information for me. So you can see where it says broadcast, and it's going to pull up every part in the transcription where that was mentioned. Pull up the screen. This was a long call. It's going to pull up all of these different words, and then I can then click on it and be taken right to the part of the recording where that was said. And it's going to highlight it for me. So essentially, if I'm thinking to myself, my goodness, where did we talk about radio on this call? I'll just type it in. It's going to pick it up. I'm going to click on it, and I'll get right to that part of the recording. So no more fast forwarding, no more backtracking. You'll get right to that part, and you'll be able to look at it. It's a really great feature. All right, so having gone into Q, I think this is a good time for us to jump into scheduling. Back to the main page. So you're going to notice some things about the main page here. It couldn't be clearer. This is going to direct you to where you can start a conference. You'll have your information, your teleconferencing information, and information to join the call right at the top of the screen. So you'll see your dial-in number, your access code, and what we call your online meeting room URL, all listed at the top. This is just the link that you will send to people if you want them to join your online meeting, much like you joined our online meeting today. You have an easy way to copy those details, and once they're copied, you can send them out to anybody you like via email, via another calendar invite, say Google or Outlook, or even a chat if you wanted to send that over to them in a chat and have them connect. Just a quick note about where you would find some of your other calls and information. You'll be able to see your past conferences by clicking that button, and you'll be able to see upcoming conferences by clicking that button. You'll be able to edit the details of the upcoming ones, make changes, and save them as needed out there as well. You have a few other windows to point out. So this is your dial-in information. Again, you're going to have a nice reference for all of the conference details right here, a place to copy them, and a handy reference for start key commands. So if you're holding a call and somebody says, hey, how do I mute my line? You can always find that information here. We'll give you your full list of dial-in numbers, so numbers all over the country that you can distribute to your callers, along with your access code, and allow them to join the call, no matter how remote they are. And you'll get kind of a nice agenda. So you'll have a list of today's calls, any calls that are happening today. It will give you a list of those. And if you have teammates or users in your organization and you frequently hold calls and Kathy says, hey, join my room, you can just enter the access code to their call here and click join, and that's going to bring you to the online meeting. There's a lot of quick ways to get things done here. Now, in terms of scheduling a call, you have the ability to start an immediate and on-demand online call. So if you haven't scheduled anything and you just want to say, hey, jump into my meeting, and you distribute this online meeting room URL to your participants, you can just click on the start button and it will ask you, do you want to join by your internet, phone, or view only? And you pick which way you want to connect and your call is started. You can see here that I've did a view only call there. So that's how you would start an on-demand call. I should also point out that if you want to start an on-demand call via your phone and you don't want to log in, that's completely fine. You just need to pick up your phone, dial a number and your moderator PIN, and the call will be initiated. There's no need to schedule either an online or a teleconference. But if you do want to use our scheduler, it's right here. It's going to give you the expected information that you need. So you can add a title, you can change, do your date and your time of the call, the length of your call. You can set up a recurring call if you want to, just like you can in your other calendaring section. And you also have the ability to enable additional security setting that wasn't available to you in the settings, and that's a one-time access code. So what this does is it actually schedules a call with a code that is different than your existing and permanent access code. It provides you a one-time use access code, which will grant access to the call at the date and the time specified only. After that, it's not good at all. You can add extra security to that call, but with a security code as well. And from there, you're going to go ahead and add your participants. So we'll go over filling up your address book in a little bit, but you'll see a list of callers from which you can select. And once you click on them, you'll see them added in the to section. So you can do that just by clicking on your colleagues, or if you wanted to, you can actually enter them one by one. And again, once you've entered them and you see them here, everybody is going to get an invitation. Everybody in the to section will get an invitation to the call. Then you're taken to your dial-in number page. So if you have callers in other locations that you are not, you can click that, click them, and those will also appear on the invite. Once you've had a chance to review all the specifics of your call, you can get it scheduled. When it's scheduled, all of the participants will get a call, an invitation, and you as the moderator will get one as well for you, so you can put it into your calendar. And then you should be able to see it in your upcoming calls right there. It really is a very simple scheduler. It's very intuitive, and it should be super easy for you to use. We encourage you to go in and just schedule a couple test calls and then cancel them, just to kind of get the hang of it. So moving on, I want to show you the menu just to highlight a couple of things in here. First of all, you do have a section where you'll find your recordings. So if you want a quick glance of all the recordings you've done, that's where you go. You can choose to download them, or you can copy the link to send it to your participants. That's where you'll get all of that information. This is where you can also pull up your address book. So if you want to pre-populate your address book, you can certainly do it here. You can import CSV files and upload a large list of people. You can add a contact if you want to as well, one at a time. You can create your groups. So you can email groups out and just build that up before the call. Just kind of makes it easier than during the call. We have our apps are all here as well. So if you are if you find yourself on a laptop that is not equipped with Chrome, or if you have callers that don't use Chrome, you can direct them to the apps and they'll be able to download a Windows, a Mac, or a Linux app. and avoid the entire browser issue altogether. We give you access to Chrome if you want to download that then. And we have both iOS and Android apps for your mobile phone that you can download as well. Our Outlook plugin will put a icon for scheduling calls right into your calendar. So you don't even have to go here. You just click on that and it will allow you to schedule right through your own calendar. And it's going to pre-populate all of your conference information there. Last but not least, some ways that we want to help you prepare for calls and get help after the calls. So we have a really great connection test that we give you a link to, and it's included on every single invitation we have. This really helps people identify if they will have any problems with their connection. So it'll run you through everything: your microphone, your playback, input. It's going to run a connection test speed, and it will also test your video. So it's going to give you all those steps in order to best prepare you for the online call. And our support department, that's the help desk, the help icon here. So we have a ton of ways to help you. We are really very committed to this, and we're ready to take your questions, whether you want to go ahead and search our knowledge base. If you wanted to take a look at our YouTube channel and the videos that we've put there, that's information here. We've got announcements if we've got any maintenance going on or anything we know about that we can prepare you for, we'll put it here too. We have a bunch of articles that are helpful and allow you to search for those. We have a user guide you can download and our numbers if you would like to call us. We're available to help you by phone as well. You can also send an online ticket if calling isn't your thing, no problem. You can open up a ticket with us and we are very, very responsive to tickets. So it's highly unlikely that you would even, we're extremely responsible with tickets. We take it seriously and we turn these around very quickly as well. So we encourage you to call. If we can do anything, let us know. Okay, so hopefully Sarah's been answering your questions and we'll send you a copy of this chat after the meeting is done. So we wanted to thank you for attending the meeting and we'd love to hear your feedback. So if you could go ahead and if there's anything that you want to learn in the future, any ideas you have about the next webinar, we'd love to hear that from you. Please feel free to email us at please feel free to email me directly, and I am at Cara@iotum.com. Just send me an email